ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरम् गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। We'll chant from number 9. Adau. आदौ नित्या नित्यवस्तु
या नित्यवस्तु
विवेकः परिगण्यते।
विवेकः परिगण्यते।
इहामुत्र फलभोग
इह पुत्रफलभोग
विरागस्तदनन्तरम्।
विरागस्तदनन्तरम्।
क्षमादिषट्कसम्पत्तिः
समाधिसम्पत् सत् I'm so sorry. Again, can you say that again?
क्षमादिषट्कसम्पत्तिः
क्षमादिषट्कसम्पत्तिः
मुमुक्षुत्वमिति स्फुटम्।
मुमुक्षुत्वम् इति स्फुटम्।
ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या
ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या
इत्येवं रूपो विनिश्चयः।
इत्येवं रूपो विनिश्चयः।
सोऽयं नित्यानित्यवस्तु
सोऽयं नित्यानित्यवस्तु
विवेकः समुदाहृतः।
विवेकः समुदाहृतः।
तद्वैराग्यं जिहासा
तद्वैराग्यं जिहासा
या दर्शनश्रवणादिभिः।
या दर्शनश्रवणादिभिः।
Better to chant it this way. तद्वैराग्यं जिहासाया
तद्वैराग्यं जिहासाय
दर्शनश्रवणादिभिः।
दर्शनश्रवणादिभिः।
देहादिब्रह्मपर्यन्ते
देहादिब्रह्मपर्यन्ते
ह्यनित्ये भोगवस्तुनि
यनित्ये भोगवस्तुनि
विरज्य विषयव्रातात्
विरज्य विषयव्रातात्
दोषदृष्ट्या मुहुर्मुहुः।
दोषदृष्ट्या मुहुर्मुहुः।
स्वलक्ष्ये नियतावस्था
स्वलक्ष्ये नियतावस्था
मनसः शम उच्यते।
मनसः शम उच्यते।
विषयेभ्यः पराभर्त्य
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
oh, not audible is it?
Now I can. Now yes.
विषयेभ्यः पराभर्त्य
विषयेभ्यः परावर्त्य
स्थापनं स्वस्वगोलके
स्थापनं स्वस्वगोलके
उभयेषामिन्द्रियाणाम्
उभयेषाम् इन्द्रियाणाम्
सदमः परिकीर्तितः
तदमः परिकीर्तितः
बाह्यानालम्बनं वृत्तेः
बाह्यानालम्बनं वृत्तेः
येषोपरतिरुत्तमा
येषोपरतिरुत्तमा
सहनं सर्वदुःखानाम्
सहनं सर्वदुःखानाम्
अप्रतीकारपूर्वकम्
अप्रतीकारपूर्वकम्
चिन्ताविलापरहितम्
चिन्ताविलापरहितम्
सातितिक्षा निगद्यते
सातितिक्षा निगद्यते
शास्त्रस्य गुरुवाक्यस्य
शास्त्रस्य गुरुवाक्यस्य
सत्यबुद्ध्यवधारणा
सत्यबुद्ध्यवधारणा
सा श्रद्धा कथिता सद्भिः
सा श्रद्धा कथिता सद्भिः
यया वस्तूपलभ्यते
यया वस्तूपलभ्यते
सर्वदा स्थापनं बुद्धेः
सर्वदा स्थापनं बुद्धेः
शुद्धे ब्रह्मणि सर्वदा
शुद्धे ब्रह्मणि सर्वदा
और शुद्धे ब्रह्मणि सर्वथा
शुद्धे ब्रह्मणि सर्वथा
तत्समाधानमित्युक्तम्
तत्समाधानम् इत्युक्तम्
न तु चित्तस्य लालनम्
न तु चित्तस्य लालनम्
So we started studying Adhikaritvam, and now we are looking at Samadhanam. Vivekaha, first one. Second is Vairagyam. Third one is Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi. And in that, there are 6 elements, 6 aspects. And we are now at the 6th of those. Shama, Dama, Titiksha, Uparati or Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan. That's where we are. So we began looking at it last time. It is focus, concentration, ability to keep the mind in something, something that is useful to us, something that is important for us. Swamiji says, don't say that I can never focus, that nobody can say. Because when we worry, we are constantly thinking of that same thing for a long time. So nobody can say I can't focus. I focus on my problems very well. I can think of all my past problems and all very well. So therefore, everybody has been given the capacity to focus. Samadhanam is always there. And so we just have to be in situations like this where people are able to come together for the same purpose, then automatically the samadhanam will come. So we have to help ourselves by being in the right company and so forth. And here, this focus is to be done in what? Where should I focus? That Shankaracharya is saying here. Buddhehe sthapanam. Buddhehe sthapanam. What is it supposed to be focused? It must be buddhi. Buddhi means in general mind here must be focused. Sthapanam, right? Sthapanam. The minds. placement, the mind's placement, attention, okay, where Shuddhe Brahmani, Shuddhe Brahmani. So in that Brahma, it's also called Brahma Buddhi. The Buddhi must be interested in listening to Brahman. Brahman is a topic of the entire Vedanta Shastra. And so he's saying Shuddhe Brahmani. Because that's the subject, Sarvam Brahmamayam. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, he already mentioned, indicated. That is a topic. Because everything is Brahma. If somebody says, then everything is not Brahma. I see so many things which are not Brahma. Then Brahma is something else. Those kinds of ideas will come. And so that entire teaching, which is therefore called Brahma Vidya. So Shuddhe Brahmani. Shuddhe means Ekasmin Brahmani. That is Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. That is Shuddham Brahma. Sthapanam, which is what the rest of the text is going to be about. And so it's a growing process. It's a growing process. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. It's a growing process. As we do Shravanam, our ability to fall in love with this subject increases. And then, because then after that, the entire culture comes into place. And the more we understand, the more things become clearer and clearer. The purpose of all the rituals I do, the purpose of prayers I do, the purpose of everything I do becomes clearer. Karma yoga then becomes clearer. And so it is a growing process. From day one, it's not possible. So Shravanam, Mananam, then Nididhyasanam. So that Nididhyasanam also called Brahmani Sthapanam, Shuddhe Brahmani Sthapanam. And he is using a word Sarvada or Sarvatha. Sarvada means literally, it means all the time, always. Always your attention must be on Brahman. Always, obviously, because initially it starts with sometimes, occasionally, only during class times, etc. Then afterwards, the mind is always there. Every passing moment, as far as possible, I keep the teaching in front of me. Teaching, because Brahma is not an object, and so it is not an object, so I can't think of Brahma. It's not possible. Teaching is there in front of me. That's an ideal situation. But the karma yoga buddhi is so important. Krishna talks about it in the Bhagavad Gita. Yat sankhyaif prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate. Ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha yah pashyati sa pashyati. The bold statement from Sri Krishna. Because Sri Krishna himself said in the third chapter, third sloka, in response to Arjuna's question, Hey Arjuna, Bhagavan, hey Krishna, you are telling me that jnanam is the most important. Because here also he's saying jnanam is most important. What does he say? Ato vichara kartavyaha. And then he also said, Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastupalabdhaye. Karma is useless. Nakinchit karma koti bihi, he says here. You can keep on doing things and accomplishing things, but that cycle will never end. That process will never end. Everywhere it says. Entire Shastra is filled with this. Okay, now I understood this, Krishna, but then you're telling me go and fight this war. I am not interested in fighting. I told you before itself. Now you're telling knowledge is great. So you have to study this, he said in the second chapter. Then why are you asking me to fight? Like that, he said. So that's the beauty of the Shastra is, hey, you come to know this, but not by running away from my duties. And so my duties have to, if at all, it has to be done even more properly. Previously, I was doing half-heartedly and I was murmuring constantly and I was just complaining and complaining. And now at least without complaining, I can do whatever I'm supposed to do. And then it becomes joyfully doing also. So much is there, so much growth is there. And so it's a process. It's a process. And even a jnani cannot escape doing karma. Janaka Maharaja was the king. You can imagine the duties of a king, the responsibilities of a king. And so, like this, we have a lot of stories, Ashwapati and all that. And so they also sarvada buddhehe stapanam. They also had that Brahma buddhihi, Brahma buddhi, Brahmau buddhihi, Brahma buddhihi. Means in Brahma, they are clear. Janaka also was clear every minute of the day that he was in the kingdom. He was in that particular palace, whatever you can imagine, or outside the palace, or a war, or walking around and seeing how are his people. Everything he had to do, he can't, or he has to delegate. Delegation also is karma only. So, therefore, here, dwelling on Brahma means while I'm dwelling on Brahma, and when I'm not doing anything, also Brahma becomes the most important goal of my life. That is what is being said here. And, uh, and then Swamiji says, focusing on Brahma, you can sing songs and this and that. He says, not adharam maduram, vadanam maduram, adhanam, adharam maduram, vadanam maduram, then nayanam maduram, etc. So beautiful because Vishnu's form is beautiful. Whichever way you look at it, beautiful. Krishna is also beautiful. Everybody is beautiful. So you just have to this Madhurashtakam, you sing and then you visualize the beauty of everything and Bhagavan's form. So that is that kind of concentration we are not talking about. Talking about Shuddhe Brahmani. So that teaching, that's why we keep saying teaching. Sarvada, all the time, as far as possible. Karma Yoga is all the time. Yeah. Every minute of the day, I'm doing something. Therefore, I can invoke the Prasada Buddhi and Ishwararpana Buddhi all the time. All the time it is. And then Sarvatha, Sarvatha. Okay. It's Sarva Prakarena. Sarva Prakarena means in by various methods like Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. All those things that Yajnavalkya told Maitreyi in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Sarva Prakarena means Shravanam I do. Mananam also I am doing. Mananam means thinking through what was taught and then clarifying doubts. All that is happening in classes. All that is happening. And after classes also it will happen. And Sarva Prakarena, Nididhyasanam is there. Nididhyasanam is after Shravanam and Mananam is over, then dwelling over what was understood clearly. That is called Nididhyasanam. And so Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Rupena, Sarvatha. Sarvatha. So in Sanskrit there are two words. Sarvada is there and Sarvatha is there.
Excuse me, Guru. In the first and the last word, we have Sarvada in the PDF. So the last one should be changed.
So I don't know which PDF you're looking at. The PDF I'm looking at has Sarvada in the beginning and Sarvatha in the end.
Oh, as has both. Mine has both Sarvada.
Yeah. So last time I mentioned the two Patabheda is there. And so Samyak Asthapanam Buddhehe. There is an alternate reading I said. Samyak Asthapanam Buddhehe Shuddhe Brahmani Sarvada. And then another reading is Sarvada Sthapanam Buddhehe Shuddhe Brahmani Sarvatha. So it doesn't matter. You can keep it because there are two different versions are there. Both are leading to the same conclusion. Sarvada means always. Sarvatha means by whatever things I do, in particular, the process of studying the Shastram. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Shravana Rupena va, Manana Rupena va, Nididhyasana Rupena va. These are the three The main pramanam is Shravanam, and then it is followed by Mananam and Nididhyasanam. So then he adds one more phrase here. He says, Natu chittasya lalanam. Giri Acharya says in his commentary, okay, Chandrasekhara Bharati, and he says, Yatha loke shishoho rodanam bhavati. Okay, exact words. Loke balakaha visheshataha rudanti chet means uh, children cry. Visheshataha. Everybody knows this. Children cry. When they cry, then what happens? He says, Tadishtam datva samadadhate janaha. Then Tadishtam datva. Then you pacify the child by saying, oh, don't cry like that. What happened, etc. And then you say, and then you give a pacifier. It's called pacifier, in fact. That thing itself is called pacifier. Why? Because it pacifies the child. Okay. So that kind of lulling the mind, pacifying the mind, and the cuddling the child. You know, various things to pacify the child. Okay. Okay. Tadvat, like that, listen to this, like that, manasa yatheshtam Vishaya Marga Sancharanam, like that. This mind is wanting so many things, and I'm just so anxious to want something, and that made me anxious and restless. Tadvat, like that, na samadhanam. That is not called samadhanam. Okay, that's not samadhanam. So you want something, and then you get it, and then finally the mind is calm. You know, at that time the mind is calm, obviously, because I got what I wanted, and so, some nice food, something you want to eat that you have not eaten in a long time. Then somebody brought it, and then you say, "Oh my God, that's great!" And then the mind got jayate vishayan pumsa sangasteshu upajayate. We saw that in Bhagavad Gita. So once that thought is there, then it keeps there. It keeps coming back, and then it grows in size, and so. And once you get it, then you become calm. Na न समाधानम इति आह न तु चित्तस्य लालनम. Like that Acharya is introducing Shankaracharya's uh, न तु चित्तस्य लालनम. So lal, so lull. I think this word lullaby comes from this lull. Yeah? If you guys, the linguists in our class, can research it and find out lullaby, lull, that whole word lull and all that is related to this. Lalayati, lal ipsayam, Sanskrit students. So entertaining, pacifying, all those words. Basically, the mind is a scatterbrain, and then something is needed to calm the mind. No, that is not samadhanam. Samadhanam comes from our own effort, our own effort. So we talked about it last time, and so it's not pampering the mind. Good. So with this particular samadhanam is completed. Let's look at the translation. The placing of the mind always, the placing of the mind is a literal meaning. You can say within brackets focusing. The placing of the mind always and in every manner in Brahman that is pure, in Brahman that is pure, is said to be samadhanam. Is said to be samadhanam. Next sentence. It is not pacifying of the mind. It is not pacifying of the mind. Okay? It is not pacifying of the mind. Once again, the placing of the mind always and in every manner in Brahman that is pure is said to be samadhanam. It is not pacifying of the mind. Next shloka. Ahankaradidehantan
Ahankaradidehantan
bandhan ajnanakalpitan
bandhan ajnanakalpitan
swaswarupavabodhena
स्वस्वरूपावबोधेन
moktumicha mumukshuta.
मोक्तुमिच्छा मुमुक्षुता
Ahankaradidehantan
अहङ्कारादिदेहान्तान्
bandhan ajnanakalpitan
बन्धानज्ञानकल्पितान्
swaswarupavabodhena
स्वस्वरूपावबोधेन
moktumicha mumukshuta.
भोक्तुमिच्छा मुमुक्षुता.
So the word that we must underline here is mumukshuta. Earlier he introduced the word in shloka number 9. He said Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi Mumukshutvam iti Sphutam. He said Mumukshutvam. Now he's saying Mumukshuta. So both mean the same thing in Sanskrit. The suffix tvam and the suffix ta, they mean the same thing. Tasya bhavaha tvatalau, like that Panini's sutra is there. Tasya bhavaha. If you want to indicate the nature of something, then you add the suffix ta in it or tvam in it. Like Hindutva, Hindutvam means the same thing. The nature of being a Hindu is called Hindutva or Hindutvam. Sabhyata. In Hindi also you have that. Sabhyatva you can say or Sabhyata you can say. Okay, like this ta and tva mean the same thing. Means what? The nature of being a mumukshu is called mumukshuta or mumukshutvam. And, and so that's common. In Hindi also it's common. In Sanskritam it's common. So what is mumukshu? Tvam mumukshu. Mumukshu. Moktum ichha mumuksha. Moktum ichha is mumuksha. And the person who has that desire to be free, desire to be liberated is called a mumukshu. And so that status of a mumukshu is called mumukshuta. That is how it is derived here. That means one must see mumukshutvam in oneself. One must see that value, that attribute in oneself. Like all the other things like vivekaha, vairagyam, etc. And that attribute is called mumukshuta, which is going to define in this shloka. So he say, how do you read this sentence? Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan. Bandhan moktum icha. Main sentence. Bandhan moktum icha. Right? Moktum icha, desire to be free from. Moktumicha. Free from what? Bandhan. Bandhan means in plural. Free from all kinds of bondages. All kinds of bondages. Okay, they use the word bondage, liberation. I want to be liberated from bondage. That's commonly understood. And so Shankaracharya is in just one quarter, Ahankaradi Dehantan. He's defining what that bondage is. He's telling what can be that bondage. So let's think about this. In general, we know what is bondage. In general, we we are limited. Whichever way I look at it, I'm limited. And constantly I have to make it. I have to constantly make it. So body-wise limited. Height, weight, size, health, age, everything is a problem. And finally we realize, oh my God, I should have maintained my health properly. I should have maintained. Only why finally, why people don't get this awareness before itself when they are in college, for example? Why? I think that's how cruel. It seems very cruel. Some people say life is cruel. Life is cruel means what? Is there an object called life who's attacking us? And that go shoot that life. He's very cruel. Cruel means what? Life is what it is. And so, body wise, whichever way I look at it, there is some problem, something that is I need. Something could always be better. Something could always be better. Health, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshanam. Like that he said in Bhagavad Gita. So, Mrityu is always there, waiting, waiting. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Or if I don't worry about Mrityu, I have to worry about old age, Jara, old age. Or if I say, no, no, I'm not that old yet. Okay, Vyadi, disease is always there. Disease is always Vyadi. And no human being is immune from disease. Okay, all kinds of diseases are there waiting. And then disease also, I'm in top health. I'm in very good health. Suppose I say, okay, dukkha is there. Dukkha. Dukkha means sadness, sorrow. Sorrow can attack us anytime. Even the healthiest person can become sad in no time, in just a fraction of a second. And so dukkha is there. Or this is how life is. How life is. And so sooner or later we settle for whatever we get. Okay, fine. I'm happy. This is enough. And so we settle. But because we have to sleep in the night. And otherwise, if I keep on worrying about everything, I can't sleep also. So that's another problem. Sleeping also I don't can't do. So like this, we feel like it's a trap. The whole thing is a trap. Why was I born? Somebody asked in our Gita class long ago, isn't it better to be born as a piece of stone? That's very good, to be born as a piece of stone. This kind of ideas we get only when we are 50, 60, 70, we get all these ideas. So, no, that doesn't work like that. And so, Ankaradi Dehanta means what? From Ahankara all the way to the body. That is what he's saying. What does Shankara have in mind when he says something like this? Okay, let's analyze this. Body. I'm limited. I've taken myself to be as good as a body. So whatever the body is, I am. That's what it is. I'm a male, female. Okay. I'm an Indian, I'm this. Okay. I'm tall, I'm short. Like this, all words define my body, really speaking. It defines my body. Okay. 1 second. Samadhanam means you have to prepare yourself before the class also to make sure all the windows are closed or whatever you have to do so that I can focus. Why give a chance for the attention to be disturbed? That's the idea. So, deha. So I have taken myself to be as good as the body. All the attributes of body is who I am. Okay. And so that in Sanskrit there's a word for it. And the word is Annamaya Koshaha. Annamaya Kosha is a word, beautiful word we have. And it means what? I'll tell you, this is what it means. It means that first level of mistake. The first level of mistake is what? The first type of mistake I do is I take the body to be myself. Nobody questions it. It's granted. It's taken for granted. Okay. And so that first level of mistake is the physical body that is there, and those attributes are me. My body is short, tall, fat, and all I can say, but that fatness is I. I am fat when I say it's all right to communicate all that, use those statements. But when I take literally, when I project the quality of the body on the self, that self is what we are trying to understand. Then we have a problem, and that problem is Annamaya Kosha. Means what? It is like a costume. Annamaya is a costume. The body is as though covering Atma, you know. A body is like the dress for Atma, like the dress for. Nobody says that they wear a dress like this and then they say, I am white. Nobody says that. I'm white is not possible. Somebody puts white ash on the forehead and nobody says, I am white. Or my face. My face is white, I can say, but I am white, nobody says. Or if they wear a red shirt, I am red. Nobody makes that mistake. Why? Hey, the shirt can be red, the sari can be red. So it doesn't mean I am red. Nobody makes that mistake ever. Ever. They don't make the mistake at all. And so, but then here, when it comes to the body, Krishna reminds us, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. Namani grinnati naruparani. So he says, just like every person daily changes clothes, okay, in the morning changes clothes, changes clothes, and drops it off, changes clothes, drops it off, okay, exactly like that. The Atma also is changing clothes, exactly like that. Tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani sanyati navani dehi. And this dehi, the person keeps changing the deha. That is what he said in the second chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. And so that deha is one level of mistake, one type of mistake. Then another type of mistake. It's called Annamaya Kosha, then Pranamaya Kosha. All the physiological functions of the body, which are not physical, which are it's more subtle than the physical aspect, right? Breathing is there, physiological function. Okay, sense organs are there, eyesight is there. Eyesight is not physical. Eye is physical, all right, but eyesight is not physical. And so the subtle aspects, all the function of the sense organs are there. Like this, all the physiological functions. I am hungry. Hey, hunger is there. There is a mistake that is being made. That's what Vedanta tells us. Okay, hunger is an attribute of the prana of the body. And so the fact that you are saying I'm hungry shows that you are the sakshi of the hunger. And so come to know that Atma is something that is independent of hunger. Okay. And so that is called pranamaya koshaha. That is the next type of mistake, next level of mistake. Not only I make a mistake on at the level of the body, the level of body means what? At taking that physical aspect to be myself. Then further down, pranamaya kosha, sense organs also, the functions of the sense organs and the physiological functions of the body also. I take it on to myself. Then next we have manomaya kosha. Manomaya kosha. So mind, very big aspect. Mind is there. All the thought patterns that are there in the mind. Sankalpa vikalpatmikam manaha. That is the definition of the mind. Means that which throws options at you. It's called a mind. Throws options and then keeps creating doubt constantly. That is called mind. So should I do this? Should I not do this? What should I cook for today? Okay, should I study or not study? Now that question we don't have. We always have study only. But just it came out of my mouth. And the child might say them, should I study or not study? Today, mom. Today is holiday, no? And the mother will say, holiday is the best time to study, my dear son. This kind of one whole 24 hours you'll never get. Will you ever get? No, but it's a holiday. And then the whole argument starts. So, should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I go to the camp? Should I not go to the camp? Should I call my son today or should I not call my son? That's the mind. That's the mind. Then comes okay, mind. What is the mistake of the mind? It is also a koshaha, manomaya koshaha. Okay, okay. I am sad. The mind is sad. The mind is disturbed. The mind is disturbed, but I am disturbed. Means what? The quality of the mind is projected onto myself. I'm not saying it is wrong to say I am disturbed. No, I am disturbed, I am agitated, we can say there is nothing wrong with it. But the wrongness there is what? Hey, I take on the attributes of the mind. Atma is free from any agitation. Shastram is saying it. It's going to say it later. So if Atma is free from any agitation, any sadness, okay, any disappointment, then that means who is sad? Who is sad? These questions, Shastram says we must ask. We must ask. Let the sadness be for now. Let the happiness be for now. And then, but think about the Atma that is behind the mind. Okay. So think of the mind as also another costume. Like the body and like this physiological functions, mind is also a costume. It's an instrument or a costume. Then finally, Vijnanamaya Koshaha. Vijnana means this decision buddhi is there, mind is there, but the buddhi is the one that comes to save us and says, okay, all these options are there. Today we are not going out at all. It's drizzling and all that, and so we are not going out. We'll postpone it for some other day. Decided. Okay, that is the buddhi. That is the aspect of the intellect, or all you can say. That is called Vijnana Maya Koshaha. And the beauty of Vijnanamaya Kosha is that is the faculty in the body that that makes me the karta, the doer. That which makes me say, who did this? Who painted this? My daughter painted it, or I did it. Yeah, I do all that. Tanjore painting, that is me. I painted it. I did it. I did not do it. All that is a function of the buddhi. So kartrutvam, I did it when I say. Yeah, that's my degree. That is that certificate. Yeah, I did it. I did it. I am attending these classes. I am teaching. I did it. Yeah. I made a mistake. I made a very big mistake. I That is the Vijnana Maya Koshaha. Yeah. So big mistake. So that karta, so important it is for the whole, the central core of the person is that kartrutva. All right. That Vijnana Maya Kosha is referred to as Ahankara in this shloka. Ahankara. Ahankarta iti ahankara. That Vijnanamaya Kosha. That aspect of me, which is also an instrument or a costume like my body, which is now called ahankara in this shloka. Okay. Atma is akarta, Shastram is going to say, and I am that Atma, which is akarta, which means what? Who did all these things, but I only did all this. I built this house. I educated my children. I sent them to college. I can give whole history is there. I can write an autobiography if you want. Okay, thick autobiography I can write. You all don't know what kind of experiences I went through. Okay, then who did all that? Correct. Correct. You only did it. Don't worry. Nobody's stealing away your accomplishments. Your resume belongs to you only. You keep it with yourself. Okay. But then Shastram says, a karta is you, but you are not karta. This is a huge statement in Vedanta. Okay. Karta is Atma, but Atma is not karta. Okay. Exactly like this pot. How many times we have studied this? Exactly like this pot. Means what? A pot is clay, but clay is not pot. Pot is clay because every part of the pot is clay. I've said it so many times now. Now I'm reminded of Swamiji. How many years he's been talking like this? The only place where he will not bring in the pot is in public talks because there is no pot available. Sometimes he will pick up that this one disposable cup is there, styrofoam. Sometimes these days I don't know if they use styrofoam. Maybe it's a no and all. I don't know. But if that cup is there, he will bring that up. But anyway, it's called Adbhutam. It's called Adbhutam. The other day we saw it. So pot is clay. See, this is Vivekachoodamani class. It's supposed to be basics class. Some of you are studying Upanishad and all, and you are wondering, Are ye to the basic hai. This is too basic. 7 years ago, I studied all these things. Like that thought might come, but this is still a foundation class. It's supposed to build our foundation. And so, pot is clay. If I say what I mean is, there are two things called pot and clay, and this example is so important for us that hey, when there are two things, there are no two separate things. Clay and pot are not two separate things, but still they are different. That's why there are two words called pot and clay. The two words in English language, any language, ghataha in Sanskrit and mrittika in Sanskrit. Two words are there. Why do you need two words if both are the same? No, you don't need two words for it. But the fact that there are two words and they are not synonyms. Synonym means what? Again, two words are there, then synonyms are there. And languages also. Water, pani, jal, jalam, if I say, all those are different words in different languages, but they all mean the same thing. But here it's not like that. Pot and clay are not like that. They're entirely different words meaning entirely different things. And so, pot is clay means what? The entire pot is clay, really speaking. Therefore, pot is clay. Without clay, there is no pot at all. But clay is not pot. Clay is not pot because clay can be anything else. If you say clay is pot, then clay cannot be flower vase. Clay cannot be that clay saucepan that is there in the kitchen. Sometimes they cook on the clay pot. The clay saucepan. And so that is not possible. The fact that clay is not pot and not any of those other objects is what allows the clay to be anything you want. Okay. So clay is not pot, pot is clay. This is the major revelation for us. And so keep it like that for now. And so Hankaradi Dehantan Bandhan, because I've taken this Vijnanamaya Kosha Ahankara as myself. Ahankara is me, but I am not Ahankara. Like pot is clay, clay is not pot. Can I even entertain that idea that Karta is me? But Karta is me means what? Karta cannot be separate from me. The pot cannot be separate from clay. Means pot's existence depends on clay's existence. Okay. But clay was there before the pot was there. Clay is there now. Clay will be there even after the pot is gone. Therefore, even after the karta is gone, I will be there. And guess what? Every day it happens. Every day it happens. During sleep, karta is gone, deep sleep. Karta is totally gone. That is why they say, Shastram says, the king and the beggar. Beggar means homeless person. A homeless person thinks I am homeless, I am penniless. King thinks I am the king, I am the great guy. And this I did this, I did that, everything is gone in sleep. Both are identical, Shastram says. In deep sleep, both are identical. Another thing I read some time ago, the king and the pawn go back to the same box after the game, it seems. Something like that. I don't know if that's a good example or not. Just came to my mind. They go back to the same box. That is what it is. In sleep, they go back to the same box. Okay. And so, Ahankaradi Dehantan. There's one more kosha, by the way, since the discussion is coming. It's called Anandamaya Kosha. Fifth kosha, right? Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya is also there. And Anandamaya is all the feelings of that bhokta, that experiencer. Okay, there is finally an experiencer who is the one that drives the karta. Because I want pleasant experiences. Okay, always. And so that experiencer is the, I connect with the, whatever experience I had, that is who I am. That is another kind of projection, another kind of mistake. They say Anandamaya Koshaha. So Pancha Kosha it is called Pancha Koshaha. And so he's saying that Ahankarad Dehantan means so many types of mistakes I do. Anandamaya is not there. Ahankara literally refers to this Vijnanamaya, but it doesn't matter. You can bring in Ahankara also. So from Ahankaradi Dehantan till Dehantan is what? Till the body. From Ahankara till the body. From this Buddhi till the body. I make mistakes. It's a constant one or the other mistake I make. And once I make a mistake, what is the problem if I make a mistake? Hey, this is not an ordinary mistake. Not an ordinary mistake. The minute I take myself to be the body, then the problems of the body becomes my problems. That is called bantaha, also called as samsaraha. Shankara is using the word bantha here. Samsar, samsar. One perfume is called samsar. Those days there used to be a samsar perfume. I don't know if it is there or not. And so samsar, look at that. I don't know why they chose that name, samsar. That's it. Once you get addicted to the perfume, that is another type of bandha. Okay. So that is what he's talking about, Shankara here. Ahankaradi dehantan bandhan. And how did this bondage come about? Ajnana kalpitan. Ajnana kalpitan. Kalpana, 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 kalpita. Kalpita means it's a creation. It's something that is imagined. Imagined. All the things that I think I am is all imagined. It is true at the level of the body, but then if I project it on myself, then it is what? It is caused by ajnana. It's caused by ajnana. Ajnanam of what? Hey, ajnanam of the real Atma. The real self is Atma. And if I don't know who I am, then I will assume who I am. Correct? I will have to conclude something about myself based on what I know. If I don't know that the sun is stationary, I will have to conclude that the sun is moving. And what a faithful job the sun is doing every day. It's going round and round and round. Therefore, I get up in the morning and say Aditya Vidayam. I say Surya Devata Namaskara. because he is doing so regularly. Because of him only, my life runs, and therefore he keeps going round and round. That is what I have to assume. Until somebody knocks my head and says, "Hey, wait a minute, let's study about this so-called solar system." Oh, solar system is there? Yes, there are many objects out there. Did you ever go out in the night? Or are you staring at the computer all day long? Yeah, if you go out in the night, you have to look up also. Like this, you should see. Then only you will see all these bright objects. Mahakumbh. Look at all the objects in a straight line. Once in 144 years and all this. One third, one quarter, almost one third of India has gone there. One third of every day, crore, the number is going up. Hey, pollution is there. You may die if you go there. क्या बात कर रहा है? You will die. At least I'll go to heaven if I die. Otherwise, if I die somewhere, I may not go to heaven. Now is the chance to go to. People are just rushing. There is no tickets available. They are charging money to go from here to there. The auto rickshaw guy says 10,000 rupees. 10,000 rupees? Yes, sir. How about 8,000? How about 5,000 rupees? Walk away. I'm hearing stories. My brother also did that. He's telling me all these stories. And so that is how it is. And so, Ajnana Kalpitan, it's all caused by Ajnanam. This is Vedanta. This is where Vedanta shines. Nobody else talks about Ajnanam. Do you know why? Everything is taken as Satyam. What is Satyam? Real, clay is real. Both are absolutely real. We say they are not absolutely real. We say clay has reality. Clay is the one that's giving existence to pot. Pot's reality is borrowed reality. How can borrowed reality and intrinsic reality be the same? This is the wealth that I earned, and it is my wealth. It is my assets versus inherited assets. It's all grandfather, father, grandmother, and all. They all gave me so much. That is okay. But what did you earn fundamentally? If somebody asks, I don't have anything to say. Because it's all sottu, parambara sottu, they say. Means it's all inherited. There is a difference between the two. Somebody, you know what, interesting. Some girl was complaining. She was telling me, uncle, this is she just finished her school, college, and all. She's working, and the mother is telling, you don't have to work because we have enough. She's saying I have to work. So the problem in the family is whether she should work or not. Mother says you need not work, and she's saying, uncle, I have to work. This is the argument now. I'm supposed to be the referee. What will you do if you are in this situation? Right, right. I had to be subtle because mother also is standing, the daughter also is there, and two people when they're fighting against each other, it is impossible to be a referee like this. If you're talking to one person, is one thing, but you have to talk to both persons. Both of them feel strongly about their opinions. So that you say something. Anyway, you have finished. You earned all your money. You're lucky, but you. What if she wants to tell her daughter that I have earned all this money? You can relax. You can do whatever you want. She needs that ability. Something you have to say, some reason you have to come up. Because the mother was feeling very strong about this. To a point where, no, you should not do all these things. They were living together also. The family is together, obviously. And so, here, Ajnana Kalpitan. It's all caused by Ajnanam. That, that self-ignorance. That's an important thing in Vedanta. Very important thing. So, that idea that B is A, but A is not B. Mithya kalpitan. Therefore, we call A is Satyam. We give a new word that's a very important word that we have to give for pot, which is not independently existing, which has borrowed existence. And anything that has borrowed existence is called Mithya. Mithya, that word is so important in the Advaita Vedanta. Everywhere else, it's all Satyam, Satyam, Satyam. Everything is Satyam. Samsara is Satyam, you are Satyam, Jiva is Satyam, body is Satyam. Everything, all your experiences are Satyam. And therefore, I have to look for another experience. That is why heaven becomes such an attractive thing for everybody. Because everything is Satyam, and now this world is no good anymore. And so I have to go to some other world. Everybody is going to some other world. Swarga. Only Vedanta says, hey, Swarga is in your own head. You are Satyam. Everything else is Mithya. First, let's understand it. At least before going to Swarga, understand this and go to Swarga. Nobody can stop you from going to Swarga anyway because you made up your mind. And what you desire earnestly, you will get. Correct? Even God cannot stop us. God cannot stop a person who has decided to get something. Not possible. It may be difficult, may take a time and all that, but can't stop. So anyway, you're going to heaven, but at least listen to this and go. Because finally, Brahmaji also, they say, is going to teach the same thing. And so, at least Brahmaji's class, I can say, you know what? I've studied Vivekachoodamani, I've studied Mundaka Upanishad. What are you going to teach Brahmaji? We can ask like that. Then teach me something more advanced. Advaita Makarantam, Mandukya Upanishad. Okay. Like that. So, it's all, these bandhas are all ajnana kalpitas. They're all caused by ignorance. Because Atma is never going to be bound. How will I know that? Swaswarupava bodhena. How can I moktum icha? I want to be free from this bondage. Bondage which is ajnana kalpita, which is caused by ignorance. So now I want to get rid of my ignorance. I want to know. How will I know all this? Yeah, you have to know that. Swaswarupa avabodhena. Avabodha means jnanam. Bodha. Avabodha means teaching. By knowing the teaching or by being taught. Because anything I have to know, I have to be told. I can't figure it out myself. Certain things I can figure out by myself also by investigating and thinking through, etc. That is fine. In this vyavahara, in this worldly existence, in the worldly transactions, I can go from A to B. Once I know A, I can go to B. I can infer B, I can prove B myself also. It's possible. But here it is not like that. Earlier he said Guru Upasadhya. Maybe next one it's going to come. Yeah, next loka is going to come. Upasidet Guru, he's going to say next. But before that, Swaswarupa avabodhena. I must know my own nature. Swaswarupa. By the knowledge of one's own nature. Again, all unique to Advaita Vedanta. Nowhere else you'll find these kinds of things. Knowing the self and all is not there. Really, self knowledge doesn't exist outside Advaita Vedanta. Not needed at all. Not needed at all. So, Swaswarupa avabodhena. Brahmajnana of the self, there is something called adhyasa. Adhyasa means projection. If I don't know something about anything, then I have to make an assumption of something. Two possibilities are there. What are the two possibilities? Suppose I don't know. Suppose you don't know what this is. Suppose you don't know what this is. I just show it to you and I don't know what it is. Okay, I don't know what it is. You can just say, I don't know what it is. But there are instances where you have to make an assumption of what it is. You have to. You will conclude. You will conclude. Two possibilities. When I see something on the pathway right in front of me, It's a long thing that is going like this, and it is also curving like this. There are two possibilities. I don't know what it is. What is it? It's twilight. There is not enough light also. I can say I don't know what it is. Let me go near and find out. And then I touch it. I touch it, and oh, it is the water hose. Water hose that is going like this, and okay, there it is. They used it to water the plants some time ago, and so that's what it is. You can find out. You can say I don't know what it is, or you can go and find out what it is, or third possibility is there. Third possibility is what? A, you a projection happens right there, and there is a snake. There is a snake outside the door. Be careful. I have to assume. I have to know what it is, and that the vasana is all there, and then it makes me project something. Makes me project a snake on something that is not a snake. Okay. Okay. This is such an important thing. How can we ignore it? And that is what Shastra is saying is happening with me, this Atma, Ahankaradi Dehantan, Tesham Gunaha, all their qualities are being projected onto me, the self. Why? Because I don't know what the self is. I don't know what that object is that is there, that is wriggling like this in front of me. Therefore, I project a snake on a rope. Rope is rope, snake is snake. They're two different things. But I've taken it as a snake, and now I have to deal with that conclusion. I have to deal with that conclusion, which is what I'm dealing with. That dealing is called samsaraha, bandaha here. And so that's what is being mentioned here. Mistakes are of that type here that is being talked about. Whenever you make a mistake, then you have to deal with the mistake. Like when I found one day that I lost my key bunch. The key bunch is lost. It has uh, it has my apartment key, door key, okay, and then it has my two-wheeler key, and then it has the key to the lock of the bicycle. Some three, four keys are there. That's about it. And so it's gone. And so I prepared. I had to look for a locksmith. We call that person a locksmith, keysmith, whatever, something you have to say. Keysmith. Let's call it a new word, keysmith. And so I went to the key. I had to find out where the keysmith is. It's not an everyday affair like buying milk and newspaper. And so I had to search, and then I found the person, and I took all the keys. I made it, and I got the duplicate. And then life was whatever. Then that duplicate key was not opening the apartment door, and I would try as much as I might, and it's not opening. Then I had to call the person and say, "You have to do something." He said, "No, sir, it will open." But I said, I've been trying for the last 15 minutes, not opening. Then he himself came, thankfully. And so he came all the way to open the door with the key that he made for me. Because it's an insult to him, right? If that key didn't open, then his job is not done. So I think he must have come due to that only. And then he tries, and then he said, "Oh, do like this and open it, it'll open." Somehow he managed. All these things happened. Then one day, what happened? I I put my hand in the pocket and the key bunch was there. Which not the new one, the old one, the original key bunch was there. It, it was drizzling or it was raining that day. And in my bag, I carry a raincoat because I'm going by these two wheelers all the time. So I need a raincoat. Raincoat is useful to have when you're riding a bicycle or a motored bicycle. And then it was raining, so I had worn that raincoat. And then I came home. The raincoat had the thing inside. Then I looked at it and I said, I carry this raincoat with me every day. In my bag, the raincoat is always there. Whatever I carry, the raincoat will be there. The key bunch was going along with me. It had a free ride everywhere. And now it appears out of nowhere. It appears is right there. So that ajnanam creates its own life. It creates its own life. Can you believe this? The whole life. All the activities I did would have been not needed in this example. All the anxiety, etc., whatever, fill up the blanks, not needed. So, here, Swaswarupa Avabodhena. Obviously, I have to know the truth. Only then this bandha will stop. That is the idea here. Moktum icha mumukshuta. Like that he's saying. Swami Swamiji says, we have in Tamil Nadu, at least we have something called Venkatesha Suprabhatam or Venkateshwara Suprabhatam. Those days, when we were growing up, radio was the only source of music or devotional songs. And in the morning, they will play this thing because it is supposed to wake up Sri Rama. Kausalya Supraja Rama Supurva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narashadula Kartavyam Devamangikam Uttishto Uttishta Govinda Uttishta Garudadvaja Uttishta Kamala Kanta something.
Mukham Mangalam Guru.
Uttishta Kamala Kanta.
Trilokyam Mangalam Guru.
Trilokyam Mangalam Guru. Okay. So this song is supposed to go Kausalya Suprad. Hey Kausalya son. Hey Sri Rama. Get up. Uttishto Uttishta. Get up, get up, get up. You have a lot of things to do. Important things like protect Dharma. So you have a lot of things to do and you get up. Because in the night they will put all our devtas to bed, and then only you are supposed to go and then you wake them up. So Uttishta, Swamiji says, we keep on saying Uttishta to Sri Rama. Sri Rama doesn't have to be woken up. Who should be woken up? there is a big, there is a big sleep called spiritual sleep. Okay, that I'm sleeping in, that I am in right now, and I am the one who's supposed to be woken up, not Sri Rama. And so that's why Yamadharmaraja says, Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapyavaran Nibodata. Rama says Uttishta. So there Shankara gives very beautiful meaning. And so, all right, you're welcome to wake up Sri Rama, but think about this Swaswarupa Avabodhena. That is also a type of waking up. So, that completes this shloka. Let's look at the meaning of this shloka. The desire to give up, the desire to give up all bondages from the ego to the body. Be careful with these English words, ego and all. From the ego to the body, ego within quotation if you want, or from ahankara to the body. Hyphen, that are born of ignorance, that are born of ignorance, hyphen, by the recognition of the nature of oneself, by the recognition of the nature of oneself, is mumukshuta, comma, the disposition of a mumukshu, the disposition of a mumukshu. Disposition means the nature of a mumukshu, the outlook of a mumukshu, the thought process of a mumukshu, the disposition of a mumukshu. Once again, the desire to give up all bondages from the ego to the body, hyphen, that are born of ignorance hyphen by the recognition of the nature of oneself is mumukshuta, comma, the disposition of a mumukshu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So by the way, we have the Shivaratri Puja tonight. So 7 o'clock to 9, whatever. So those who would like to join, please do. What we'll be doing is a Shiva Puja, and we'll be doing Dakshinamurti Puja. And so I will be Dakshinamurti Puja is good to know because as students of Vedanta, Shiva in the form of Dakshinamurti is very meaningful for us. And so we'll be doing that puja. So those who want to join, please join. Thank you.